Hey guys, so I decided to go right into just showing you guys my paintings. I know I said I was going to wait to paint a few more, but I just wanted to get it done and over with and talk about it. I am going to go through and show you guys my favorite ones that I've recently painted in the last couple months that I have not hung up yet. Here, hold on one second. Here are three that I want to talk about. This is Opie. I love this one so much. I don't think I had any issues painting him. I didn't have to go in with, I sometimes go in and take some mineral spirits. Sometimes I just do little smudge updates. And sometimes it's not good. Sometimes it helps. Sometimes it just makes it look worse. But the eyes. I always have issues on eyes on these characters. Because sometimes they'll like have the eyelids and I'll have to go in with a skin tone back over. Sometimes I realize, hey, let's just keep the skin tone, go in over it with the white. But this one, I love it so much. I love how I did Opie on the bottom right. I don't know if you can tell. Very thin, very just one color. I chose to stick with the same color as the shoes. I try to go with, when I'm doing their name on the bottom right, like top right, wherever in the 4x4, as one of the colors that I previously used so I don't waste oil paint. This is like a cadmium red. Not cadmium. I have a really dark magenta red. Putting it over this pink background, it's definitely a lot darker, which I didn't think it would be. And I am so glad I put some highlights right here and here. I genuinely like some of the mess ups that I have in some of these paintings because you can tell it's a painting, it's an oil painting. It's not acrylic matte. You're not gonna get a drawing or a painting of a drawing. It is an oil painting of a drawing of a cartoon. So you're gonna have little edges not be quite kind of coming out of the black lining. My favorite part of these paintings, whenever I do, is when I get to the point where I can put the black lining in, because sometimes my paintings look like garbage, and then I put the black lining in and it fixes it immediately. Moving on to my next one. This is more of a recent one I did. This is Carl. This is a movie dude who had he did like a movie facts and was obsessed with obscure movies that no one would see. And of course it's from the same voice actor from Bob's Burgers. This one I liked, but this blue, God, what's it called? It's a specific name, and I purposely went after to get that specific color, cadmium blue, I think. Cerulean blue, because it's from the movie The Devil Wears Prada, and I specifically went after that. It went bad very quick actually, and I still use it because I don't have money for new oil paints, and it does the job, but anytime I use it, I always get to see the color of the background underneath, which I like seeing underneath tones. I kind of messed up here and a little here because I had to go through and fix the mouth and the eye multiple times. Here I added highlights. I like that. And then here I added the same colors as here. I was going to add the blue, but I like I said, it's bad, so I try not to use it as much as possible because I don't know how it's going to turn out. Sometimes it's clumpy, sometimes it's okay. Moving on to my next one that I really like. This is my all-time favorite 4x4 out of all of them that I've done. And I had no issue. It's like my brain was just turned on. Seamus, the Pegleg dude. I can talk about this for like 5 minutes, but I'm going to try to keep it short. So when I did the little scarf, I went with a lighter scarlet and then a darker cadmium red. And here I went in with like a Van Dyke yellow and then a lemon yellow. Do some blending. This part was supposed to be a little bit longer, but I kept it shortened because I want them to see the legs. And instead of doing a black eyelining with the blue jeans, I used a ultramarine blue, and I just like how the orange is showing through. I like that. And then when I was doing the face, I was so scared doing the face. But sometimes when I take my brush into the actual black tube itself, instead of using what's on the tray with like the mixed medium, it comes off as a lot smoother. The only thing I missed is the other eyebrow right here, but I'm not going back and fixing that. It is supposed to be a quick painting for a reason. Right here was one of my, this here and here were my favorite parts to do. I, of course, went through with my scarlet red, and then the cadmium red on this dark, not highlight, but down shadow, along with these and the, like the little knots. And then when I went through with the white, I'm like, oh my God, it's gonna blend to be pink. And it didn't. So I am so happy about that. After doing this, I took some other things I did, like right here with the blue, with the darker blue lining instead of black lining. I think I did this on Carl somewhere. Yeah, I think I did the navy blue on his vest. And I like doing that because it feels more like a painting now. And then when I did Seamus's words, this is the first time I was like, I'm gonna make his like name different than cursive or black letter. So I add the little edges to Seamus, and I used the two colors, blue and red. This little scarlet red, and then this little light blue that I mixed because I don't have light blue out of a tube. I really hope I didn't talk too much about that. And moving on. Trying to find another one to talk about that I really like. I think out of all of them, let's talk about Evil Monkey. Evil Monkey was my first one that I had done probably in a year. Yeah, because I stopped for a year because I couldn't. It was to a point when I wanted to do oils, it got to be winter, and then I forgot last summer I kind of didn't paint much, got busy. Evil Monkey is my first one I did out of all 16 that I haven't hung up yet, and I'm looking at it now. I'm contemplating if I like it or not, because there's some areas I don't like the green showing through, like right here. This part was easy. I thought this part, when I was going to paint it, was going to be hard to paint his hand, because sometimes I'm painting cartoon hands is kind of hard for oil paint with how small it is. Nope, it was very simple. It glided on like butter. And right here, I like sometimes when I'm doing the outlines and the outlines start to look gray. I don't know. It didn't take me long to do this. It took me half an hour versus 45 minutes, and I'm glad I did Evil Monkey very simple, because Evil Monkey is a very simple monkey until he gets to like, I think it's like season 6 or 7 when they actually have like a backstory about him. He actually has a name. I can't remember what his name is right now at the top of my head, but yeah, it's not bad. I'm gonna be quite honest. Let me see if there's anybody else I want to talk about so far. I don't know if I want to talk about Ollie or James Woods. I'll talk about Ollie. So Ollie, when I went to art school, we weren't taught enough about tones. We were taught to do we had a lot of people who would come in and we would do just studies on them. There were a lot of white people. There was never anybody besides Caucasian, and when I say Caucasian, I mean like white. So doing anybody beside, like doing, say like James Woods, that I have a tube for. I have a tube called White Caucasian. But him, I had to mix 3 different browns. I think I had Indian red, and I mixed it with a Van Dyke brown, and then I mixed it with a darker brown, and I used the Van Dyke, I think either here or here, because I didn't want to mess up on Ollie. Ollie is hilarious. He's all over TikTok. What type of soup? Chunky! So, it's raining. And I loved his, I took my time on Ollie. I originally went in with the, like, lemon yellow, but he was a little too lemon, and I had a Van Dyke yellow specifically. And I went over with the little edges right here, and right here and here. He didn't take long. He, like I said, a lot of these paintings only took 30 minutes. But it's definitely, that's one thing I really want to work on, is painting people with different tones other than Caucasian, because it's something I really, really wish we would have worked on. There's so many things when you're in college that you're like, why am I not learning this? I'm paying how much money at this? That's why I hated my college. I hated my college so much. For how much I paid, I did not learn enough. And it could be because I was working so much and didn't have enough time. Like, I was working 27 to 33 hours a week at my retail job, but I also didn't have a space to actually do art. They didn't even give us a space. Freaking, ugh. Moving on to James Woods, because I want to do James Woods. This one was a little harder for me, because when you're doing a cartoon, it is so easy for you to mess up, especially when you want to try so hard for them to actually look like they're, you know, celebrity put in that Family Guy style. This right here, too boxy. I really wish I would have, and then taken, like I said, a Q-tip and then wash that away. But I didn't notice until after I was done, and I'm like, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm done. The picture that I used, the hand, I copied this hand over here. I messed up 3 times. You can kind of tell right here. You can kind of tell the blurriness right here. I messed up so many times. So I just gave in and made it like this. But when I talk about the face is, I can't do any better. I can't do any better with that face, with making it look like James Wood. Because at first, it started to look like, who's the guy? I can't remember his name. He's from Firefly. He was looking like him from Firefly. And I'm like, no. So I pushed, he has a big forehead in Family Guy. Pushed that shit up because it was down here. And it looks like James Franco. James Woods. I actually thought about mailing him a letter, because I love it. The episodes with him and Family Guy are just so freaking hilarious, and they're so OG. I don't know if you guys remember season 9, episode 1, where it's like Clue, and they have all the characters come to like a mansion, and they can't figure out who killed who. And oh, that was such a good episode. It was an hour-long episode. I think I've watched it like 2 times in the last 4 months or 5 months or something by accident. But it's like, is it by accident? Because I fully watched the episodes? But I don't know. Anyways, that is all I have to talk about. I will probably post more videos about what I disliked about some of these paintings. But I just want to get a video out of the way before I go to work. Yeah, I'm very tired. I didn't realize that. But well, I'm gonna stop recording. So bye.